Hey everybody, it's Tank and Trucker, and today we're going to go over the Kranvagn, or I like to call it the Crayola Crayon. This thing is a badass, and you'll see in the video that I did, the turret armor on this thing is just freaking phenomenal. Um, yeah, if you can be hauled down in this, you will just bounce all day long. Um, I don't know how many times I've been hit with heat. Um, to the point where people are just starting to hit me with HE just to do any kind of damage and pen me. And I mean, it was literally like they were hitting me, and we're talking tier 10 tanks were hitting me with their HE, and it was doing like 25, 15. It was doing absolutely pitiful amounts of damage. And you'll see in the video, uh, I got Tank and Trucker Jr. over here trying to chew my fingers off my hand. So playing with her while I'm making the video. But anyways, yeah, this tank is just a badass. I love it. It's not a speed demon. It's not a 50B speed. And it's ranked, I would say, right up there with. It reminds me a lot of the T-57 Heavy's speed, but with a Moss's armor for the turret, and just the gun on this is pretty wicked. The video I made, I actually, I normally load my very first magazine or round or whatever as a premium round, and then I switched over to standard rounds. But I completely, because the match got going, and it was a pretty heated area. It was just full of heavies, and I completely forgot to pop it back to standard rounds. So I did lose a substantial amount of credits, but that's no big deal. It happens. But anyway, so far for the new line, I've got the tier 6. I skipped the 7, but I've been watching. I've seen a couple video or people playing that the Leo, and I'm thinking I want that because that tier 7, the gun on it, it look like the standard round isn't the best, but the premium round bumps you up enough where you can do some pretty good. Excuse me, where you can pen through pretty much any tier 7s and 8s and stuff. And average damage on that gun is 300, which is just awesome. But I got the STR 74, the tier 6. I've got the ML1, which is your tier 8. And the gun on this thing is just ungodly long. Look at that. I mean, you start the match and you'll get spotted because your gun will be in the enemy's base already. This thing is freaking, look how long that is. I mean, just phenomenally huge. But then I got that. So the ML1, the ML2, which just it reminds me so much of the Kranvagn. They look just alike. The only difference is you can see they used a different model for the turret. Up here they put a camo net up there, and that's the Kranvagn looks like the front comes out a little more. Pretty much almost the same model, maybe a little bit smaller, but anyway, so let's get back to this. So yesterday the teams were just, if you were playing yesterday, I mean, I don't even need to tell you this. The teams were just shit. I mean, I was having so much. I was doing on average between 2, 3, 4, and 5,000 damage in some of these matches, and I think there's a bug that I don't know what it is, but I had two super good matches in this. Both of them doing over 5,000 damage, and both those particular recordings that I did over, one I did over 5,000 damage, and the other one I did, I think it was closer to 6,000 or 6,000 damage on that one. Both the videos, when I go to play it, literally it just looks like a picture. You can hear everything going on in the background, but all you see is like a picture of what you would be seeing without tanks there. It's freaking crazy. So I don't know if it's some sort of bug, but if you do over so much damage, the recording won't work or what. But yeah, it was a little annoying because I wanted to highlight one of those videos because did a ton more damage and bounced a ton more damage, and couldn't even show you, so you could see it. But anyways, we'll use this video, and it's actually pretty good. But let's go over the tank real quick. So, what do you get? 2,000 hit points. Frontal armor is 90. Side armor is 70. And The hull armor in the back is 37. Kind of a weird number. But that's on your hull. On the turret, you have 225 in the front, 70 on the side, and 37 again in the rear. Kind of a weird. I wonder if that little their backpacks is considered spaced armor. I'm just kidding, by the way. But look at the friggin' angle on this thing, man. It is just holy freaking crap. And you'll see bounce, 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 bounce. And a buddy of mine, Tony, and I took this into a training room to try and find weak spots on the turret. And I thought, right under here, underneath that gun, would be a weak spot. And I literally lifted the gun as far as it would go and let him shoot round after round there. Not a weak spot. Wouldn't pen it with standard heat rounds. It was kind of a 50-50 chance. He did pen a couple, but still, for the most part, it just bounced him. The only weak spot we found is if whoever's in the enemy Kranvagn, if they have their turret and they're aiming down, if they've got their turret aiming down, these two commanders hatches, and they're not that easy to hit. They are pretty tough to hit. But for the most part, the only weak areas is your front hull, and it's only got 90 frontal armor, but with the slope that it has, I actually bounced a couple tier 10 rounds off the front of that. The lower plate, that's kind of a hit and miss. I bounced a couple, but for the most part, they were able to pen me there. If you can get this thing hauled down, in the video you'll see I was hauled down, you'll just punish them. So anyways, let's move on to the gun. So you get a tier 10 gun, obviously. 4 shells in the magazine, 3 seconds in between shots, and 33. Actually, mine is not quite that long. Mine's 31.61 seconds to load a full magazine. You get 4 rounds. I'm going to go with the stock aim time and stuff. Like, my aim time's 2.13, but I also went with vert stabs and gun lane drive, so you can't use a gun rammer. And, yeah, that makes a substantial difference in how quick you zoom in on the targets, and I like it a lot. Normally, I would go with, like, vert stabs and the coated optics to help out with the your distance where you can see the targets and stuff and light them up. But this was like, I believe it's close to 400 right off the bat. Yeah, 404. So, and when I'm in my heavies, I'm more of a get right in their face and shoot them. And so I didn't think I would really need coated optics, and I think I had a better selection, or it was better for me to use the way I have it set up. Obviously, set it up however you want to. So anyways, back to the gun. Standard penetration is 252, premium is 300, and HE is 60. The average damage in this is 400 for your standard and your gold rounds, and 515 for your HE rounds. Average damage is 2286. Mine is 2364 with the vents and the crew that I have on here. And the dispersion is 0.36, mine's 0.34, aim time is 2.5, and mine is 2.13. So, yeah, I like with that stuff there, it aims in so much faster. It's real nice. So, that is the gun in a nutshell. I wish it would have one more shell in the magazine, give you that fifth, because most of the autoloaders have at least 5, some of them 6. So it'd be nice to have a 5th round in there, and I definitely wish there wasn't such a delay of 3 seconds in between. I gotta help puppy dog down here. She's trying to get down. I wish there wasn't such a delay in between shots of 3 seconds. It would be nice if it was more like even 2.5, but 2 and under would be a lot nicer. So it's a 45-ton tank, so you can definitely mash into people and do some good damage. 7 horsepower engine. Specific power to weight is 15.5 .45, if I can spit that out. So not too bad. It's not a Corvette. You will see your 60 kilometers an hour, but it takes a bit to get up to it. And if you hit a hill, it drags you down pretty good. I wish it were more around like a 800 or higher, but obviously I don't make the game, so got to deal with what you got. You get 18 kilometers in reverse. Traverse speed is 32 on the hull and 26.67 on the turret. So you got to be careful if you get a medium that is good at circling around you, because if he knocks your track off, the turret can't keep up with him. And even if he doesn't knock your track off, trying to spin your turret and your hull at the same time, still you'll have trouble keeping up with a pretty good medium, if he's pretty fast. So be careful of that. Concealment 7.13, but obviously it's a heavy, so oh well. View range is 404 the way I have mine set up, and my signal range is 868. Do I like it? Oh, I don't like it. I love it. This thing is freaking phenomenal. The ML2 at Tier 9, the only difference really is you lose a little bit of turret armor, but I'll go over that one separately. I mean, literally from 225, I think it's 212. So, but you get the same gun if you get the upgraded gun, and the hull armor on the Tier 9 is just a little bit less. It's like 80, I think, versus 90 in the front. So, but 10 millimeters, it can make a difference sometimes if you're getting shot at by like a Tier 8. But Tier 9s and 10s will still go through you. And then if you get down to the ML1, the Tier 8, that one, you lose your you still get 4 rounds in the magazine, but you're not doing 400 alpha per hit. You're doing like 320 per hit. And the load time is around 40 seconds. But again, I'll do another video, but I'll do that one separate. But I wanted to start out with the Tier 10 and work my way down. Tank destroyer wise, the only one I got up to the IKV 90 Type B. It doesn't have the where you hit the X and it goes into the different mode to shoot. This one is just like driving around a tank destroyer. But I wanted to see, I was just interested because you see this big flat panel back here. I thought, it's going to be a real weak spot. But the thing's only got 15 frontal armor and 12 and 12. And this is why I was really pissed when I found out that Wargaming was not implementing the new overmatch rules, because I took this out, and if you look at the angle on that, I mean, look at that. Somebody straight on, you would think there's no way they're going to pen that. You figured to be shooting up here. Every stinking round I got hit with in the front penned me straight on, no problem. Literally ripped right through this 15 millimeters of very well sloped armor. I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous. Straight on though, and they were going right through this, no problem. I mean, I wanted to see, so that just kind of reiterated why I was glad I didn't go up the tank destroyer tree, because, well, for one, already hits this thing, but even if they did bring in the new rules for the overmatch, already they hit you and they just flatten you up like a pancake, kill you. But I wanted to see, if they didn't bring the overmatch, which they didn't, how bad these were going to be, and they really suck. Every round that hits this thing is going to pen it. Every single round that hits it pens it. If they would have brought the new overmatch rules into effect and that kind of slope, oh yeah, I'd be bouncing rounds left and right. But the way it is right now, you don't bounce anything. Literally, you will not bounce a single freaking round. So anyways, that's why I went with the heavy line, and I couldn't be happier. Yep, if they would have brought the overmatch rules, the different ones, I probably would have went down the TD line, but no, not until they fix that. I don't understand why they didn't do it. Because I mean, literally, they would have been doing everybody a favor that has any know how to play the game, because they would have been bringing armor back in the game, and side scraping would have been more legit. Even with mediums and stuff, they wouldn't have the weak spots on top of their turrets, and just stuff that it would have been really nice if they would have fixed it. So anyways, with further ado, I will go ahead and pause this for a second, and I will get the replay going for the Kranvagn. and just watch the rounds start to bounce when once we get head on with the enemy tanks. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, so here we are on Fjords in the Kranvagn. I love this thing. It's just so meaty looking, so girthy, and just badass. It doesn't. It resembles your French by the body style and stuff, but it definitely doesn't have the French armor. I'll go ahead and speed it up a little bit here and get going. And it's funny, the artillery. He said, "Hey, don't go around J45. Let him come around the corner." And I'll work them over. And I had to double look at that. I'm like, so you want us to let them come around the corner for you to shoot at? In which he has 4 shots, but yeah, once he's done with his 4 shots, then he's got a 70-second friggin' reload. And I couldn't do it. Yeah, even the IS3 says, I'm going to let them rip me in the face. Yeah, that's exactly what would have happened, We'd let them come around, we'd have been deep poop. So 11114 gets up there and nothing lit so far, and I'll show you in a minute too once we get up here. Let me scoot it up a little bit quicker. Of course, I'm going to go in this awesome little area just so you can see what they see. I don't know if I can go back that far. And I already bounced one round from the E5. Let's see if I can do this without all that darn smoke. But, so that's what they see. All they see is the turret. And once you're hauled down like that, you don't have to worry about that 90 millimeters of frontal hull armor, because you've got 225 of super duper sloped hull or turret armor. And yeah, good luck. You ain't penning that. So I put one round in the E5 and penned them. Kind of danked a couple rounds. Still getting kind of used to the aiming on this and stuff. But the way like I said, the way I have it set up, it aims in pretty quick. You can see where I hit him in his commander's hatch with a heat round. And, oh no, I did actually load standard rounds after that. I thought I forgot and left it with premium rounds, but I did hit the one key and got it going with standard rounds again. But I think I do switch back over to heat because I was having a little bit of trouble penning stuff. So far, I've been hit 5 times, and once with heat from the E5 and bounced every round so far. Yeah, you get this thing hauled down. Let's see what it looks like in the front here. Look at that. It looks like a dot to dot. Oh my God, it's too funny. But that's all I got to shoot at, so, you ain't penning it. Once they figure out you can get through those commander's hatches, and they're tiny, so all I gotta do is wiggle around a little bit, and they won't even get through those. So, I've been penetrated one time so far by the M46 Patton, and he used HE for a whopping 96 damage. I backed up here because it was down to the IS-3, myself, and the T-34, and I thought, okay, now we'll let him come around and let that bat chat work on him. But then I looked at the mini-map and noticed he had moved up here, so he had shots down on him from there, and if we let him come around the corner, then he wouldn't have shots. So as soon as I noticed that, I moved back. Actually, I think I stayed here. Yeah, I stayed right here, which I should have probably watched. This lower plate of an E5, and where's it hit? Let's see if I can zoom in. Right on that darn crease right there. I think that was my shell right there. Right there. Thickest piece right there, and it's right there. I'm like, damn it all. So I hit him with the next round. Somebody finishes him off. But again, I'm in a good spot. Haul down, but look at this. Now I'm starting to get peppered with HE and heat and stuff. But the only problem was the T10 actually pens me because at this angle it was a little more straight on for him. right there, and he ends up putting one on the side of my turret, or not really the side, but so I got rid of the patent there. Thought I was going to be able to pen him right there, but not so lucky. So I switched back over to heat, and so now I'm loading, but I don't want them to know that, so yeah, bump ship to 300, penetration too. So basically I just kept kind of pushing forward, let them get some shots off. I mean, it's down to just me here by myself. Look at that, another bounce. So far I bounced 9 out of 10 shells that have hit me. That's the one where I screwed up. I should have been wiggling around because he put it right through my commander's hatch. And, shooting heat, which I don't blame him. I'd be shooting heat too at this thing. But yeah, that's where you got to hit the dang thing to pin it, is right there, those commander's hatches. Now, seeing where he was and that he had stopped and was aiming in like that, I should have known that's what he was doing. I should have started wiggling around. But so I saw Yak Tiger was coming up on their keister. Kind of clutch shot that in the T10 in his turret, which obviously I didn't think it was going to go through, but you never know. So he had ammo racked me, and I waited a second to fix it, which I should have tried to fix a little quicker. I take out this STI, ST1, and here I'm like trying to get out of the way, and that T10 little rascal was trying to get the Yak Tiger to shoot me on accident, which he didn't. And yeah, so he actually saved my butt, and I stopped Hirokin and told him, hey, thanks, dude. I said, thanks, Yak Tiger. And all they got left now is their Unicom player, and where's he at? Let's see, he's got 20,000 matches, 55% win rate, and a 2070 win rate. Freaking really good player. Where's he at? Look at that. Way back at the cap, right where, we're back where freaking artillery hide, is hidden to get shots. I'm like, freaking kidding me. But I just wanted the Yak Tiger to definitely know, hey, thanks. And I told him, you saved my ass, And he really did. If he wouldn't have been there, I would have been knocked out. I'm down to 101 hit points. But all the damage that got me was after I pulled up out of my hull down position. And they had, except for the one they hit me in the commander's hatch there. Everything else was after I came out of there, and they were able to penetrate my hull. So basically the first 10 shells that hit me, I only took 96 damage from the patent shooting HE. And then everything else came from the STI and the T10 after I pulled up out of there, and they had shots at my lower hull. Anyways, that was the match. The game is over with, and we were able to take them out. And I was a little bummed out. I only got 2 kills, 2,355 damage, which, like I said, this isn't one of my better matches in it, but I couldn't get the other ones to play for some reason. It just, I don't know what the heck the deal is. It's got to be a glitch in the replay, or I did get a mod pack. I think I'm using Aslan's mod pack is what I got to install. And the only things I use on there now is the paintball mod, which then it shows you where, you got hit and stuff, which I really love that, because a lot of times you'll get hit and you have no clue where they even hit you. It's like, shit, where'd that round just hit me? And I like to know where they're shooting to see if they pen me, where they actually pen me at. So, yeah, that's why I use that mod. And, Wargaming's got the damage mod that shows you the bounces and all that stuff. And I think I'm going to go ahead and take this one back off and put theirs back on, because the one that I got on here was the only one they had, because they're still, everybody's working on getting their mods working and stuff for the new patch. It doesn't give you a grand total, because like right here, I'd love to have known how much I bounced. Actually, it was right around, I want to say 4,000, 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, something like that. Just off the top of my head, I can't, it doesn't give me a grand total, but I think that's pretty much, remember what it was. So I use that, but I'm going to take that off, put the old one back on. But I like this up here where it shows your total damage. I like your last shot. So this shot, when I hit the E5, Shot him twice. One shot, this line right here tells you what your last shot of damage was. So the last time I hit him was 434. The 46 Pat, and I finished him off and hit him for 137 and knock him out. And the STI, the last shot that hit him was for 150 damage to knock him out. But yeah, I love this thing. This thing is a freaking beast. Like I said, you saw, for yourself. You get hauled down in this thing, good luck. They're not going to pen you, man. I mean, if I already hit you, yeah, that will obviously. But yeah, I've been bouncing around some, your Yagi 100s. This thing is awesome. I really like it. It is a beast. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button down below, down there somewhere, and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I like to make videos for you guys, and makes it a little nicer when you look down there and see you got more than 10 people or 20 people or whatever that subscribe to your channel. So subscribe to the channel, and it'll notify you whenever I do a new video, which I try and do as many as I can. And like I said, I've got the 10, 9, 8, 6, and I think I'm gonna pick up the 7 maybe for the heavy line, and for the TD line I've just got the tier 7, and I'll do a video on that. But I'm not going to buy any more of the TD line probably until either they implement the new overmatch rules, or I just want to finish getting all the tanks again. Got 440 as of right now in my garage. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the videos. Tank and Trucker, you guys take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.